ceceni ya Inoro TV. Ndona ndomereri njega muno mwatoma jali mwe cebe ndona message yaku na wajira niyo gukinyiria muri witwa magisi ndomereri ati tugakorwo nake hindi ya igogona rekeria kuruguria rwimbo rwake rwa ndehera thayo nyumuma thiini wa tafara itu ni twakena muno gaka ni kaida ya guthomera mohoro maitu na njira nguhima ithaa riri ria thaa 3 na ritwa riakwa ni Njoroge wa Gebeji mobunge wa event ya mohuro Kathuri Murungi ni ambiririe campaign ya kungania irore makiria ma 5,000 cia aikare gicigo giki iteminire gutindika thirikari ikinyanirie rendekithia ria gukahurania gukiahurania ithondeke sub county igire Gathuri kana Kathuri augite itanya riake ni gukinya irore ici mbere ya bunge ona cikaro cia cokereria niguo gutigirira ati mihango ya kwahurania gicio kiu ni atafanio mbere ya ithurano cia mweri wa kanana uhoro turahayo ni marikitwa mohoro gwitwo Kate Muthoni.
Tariki 9 mweri wa gatandatu mwaka muhituku niguo aikaria matura matiganite gicigo-ini kia bunge Keimenti ya muhuro matafanirie mucemanio wa kuheana mawoni mao megi uria marenda gicigo kiu kigayanio indi mieri 7 thutha wa mucemanio ucio gutire ikinya marimo na ritacukitio ria gukinyaniria itanya riu. Kumana na gwikururia kwa mihango eno rumo bunge wa gicigo giki Kathuri Murungi ni ambiririe campaign ya ihinda ria ciumia 2 ya kunganiro re cia ikari iria itanyitwo guteithiriria hari gutindika thirikari niguo ikinyaniria riendekithia riu.
Mimi nimekuja hapa kuanzisha exercise ya kutafuta sahihi 5,000 zaidi ama 10,000 strong ndio tuweze kupeleka bungeni. Na hii karatasi yote hii ni kidogo hii. Segene cha 10,000 nitabeba kama ngunia mzima mpaka bunge ndani siku hiyo mtashangaa.
Kuringana na Kathuri riria arumiririe horo wigie kwahurania gicigo giki wabici-ini cia ministry ya ugitiri ataririo ati ni kuri na mutongoria umwe wa kaunti iyo uria warugamirie mihango iyo akiende tafanio thutha wa ithurano cia mweri wa kanana.
Wakati nilifuata kwa nini hii sub county Imenti South haijapewa gazette notice? Nikaambiwa 2 months ago, no, last year October, nikaambiwa in 2 weeks time Igoki itatoka na ipewe division. Na kiongozi mmoja hapa akateta akaenda Nairobi akasema tukikata namna hiyo Igoki ikipewa division sisi tutaisha kisiasa.
Serikali wakati ilituma mheshimiwa wetu akakuja pale kutuuliza kama tunataka hiyo sub county, ilikuwa imejua inataka kutupea sub county. Sasa mtu mmoja akiwa ndiye anasimamia kama South Imenti anaenda pale anaambia bwana Matiang'i azitupee sub county yetu. Kwa nini? Na serikali ilikuwa imesema.
Aikaria mweno ucio maugite gwikururia kwa mihango eno gukoretwo gugicungiriria morwo ni mieke ya bata ta uheani wa mawira na nikio ru maugite thirikari ndiagiriire gwitikirio teti uhuthirwo mihango-ini ya kugayania gicigo kiu.
Tunataka kuambia Kiraito, kama wewe unapenda watu wa South Imenti, kama wewe unapenda watu wa Igoki, kama unapenda watu wa Mtwana Metongo, mbona unapigana na sisi? Sub county sikuje hapa na division ya Igoki.
Na tuambie serikali South Imenti si ya mheshimiwa Kathuri. South Imenti ni ya wakazi wa South Imenti. Kweli si kweli? Kwa hivyo wasiseme, inukuliwe vizuri. Isisemekane ati Kathuri aliingia mlengo wa UDA wa Asura Nation ndio sababu tumenyimwa sub county na ndio tumenyimwa division. Hiyo maneno hatutaki kusikia kwa sababu mheshimiwa wetu wako na haki ya kujiunga na kiongozi yule anataka.
Igeria ria ceceni Inoro TV ria kwaraniria na gavana wa kaunti ya Meru Kiraito Murungi niguo kuoya mawoni make megi uhoro ni riguthite iga tondu gavana augite ndekwenda kurika ngucanio ino ona thengia ya gukorwo aumite gicigo-ini giki kia ubunge na agakirugamirira kwa ihinda iraya kuria ritwa riake ritanitio na ndereti ino mirugamo-ini itiganite. Ngiribotera Inoro TV njitagwo Kate Muthoni.
Ni wega muno mundu gwitwo Kate Muthoni ni undu wa riboti yo yaku. Ririkana kuambiriria muthenya wa umuthi nginyagia muthenya wa kana kwina cira kuria igoti-ini ria Supreme na ni cira wa guthikiriria uhoro wigi uhoro wa BBI. Ririkana cira ucio ni wateanirio kana riboti ya BBI ni yateanirio ni igoti ria gucokia cira riko na riu ni rehetwo nginya igoti-ini ria Supreme na kahinda gaka ni hindi cira ucio urambiriria na reke tuthikiririe mucithania munene Martha Koome akiaria.
They were admitted as amici curiae in the High Court and in the Court of Appeal were considered as respondents. We have also received a letter from Ochieng Dudley for the 77th respondent, Jack Mwimari, who was also an amici, having been admitted by the High Court, but says he was considered a respondent in the Court of Appeal and therefore filed the submissions. There was a letter on behalf of the 11th and 12th respondents by Mr. Evans Oganda, who would like to be given more time because the 11th and 12th respondents, he complains are substantive petitioners. And also a letter from our senior, Dr. Kaminwa, about Kenya Human Rights Commission and Kituo cha Sheria, who he would like they be given time. Those letters were responded to. They were placed to us, and we gave directions to the Deputy Registrar to respond to them. And we have considered those which came later, and we are of the view that all the records of appeal are before us. The case before the High Court, the case before the Court of Appeal, we have read the submissions. They are about 28 pages, and those who have gone beyond, they are about 35 pages. Today is highlighting those submissions, and we are of the view that the time allocated will be the time that will be taken by each of the party to present their case. As regards the issue of the amici, this court admitted the amici brief and said that we will not give them time to highlight because they are friends of the court. We will read their brief and we will also read their submissions. As far as the case for Kituo cha Sheria is concerned, we also considered that they are dealing with the two issues, and the time allocated of 15 minutes is enough. In other ones, council and parties present, we stick to the time allocation that was given and urge each party to just highlight the submissions and trust that we are capable of reading. We carefully allocated that time, also taking into account the length of the submissions that we have before us. With that, I think we will start with the appellant's case. The Attorney General, we also said those who have two lawyers will have to share the time between the lawyers.
If it may please the court, I'm Martha Karua, appearing with Modoni Lubuto for the 74th, 75th, and 76th respondents. And I wish to draw the attention of the court, with the court's permission, a mistake that has occurred in the summary the court has given. It is true that our clients appeared as amici in the High Court, and I do believe they discharged their duty admirably. But in the Court of Appeal, in the Court of Appeal, we were cited as respondents and fully participated as respondents. Similarly, before this court, we have been brought as respondents. We actually made the application for consolidation that led to the consolidation of all the appeals now being heard this morning. And that application was successful, pursuant to which the court gave directions. At no time before this court or before the previous court, the Court of Appeal, did we appear as amicus. Therefore, we are respondents. And this court has treated us as respondents by entertaining our application for consolidation. An amici cannot make an application for consolidation. So we are quite perplexed at what time we then moved to amici before this court. We are respectively asking the court to look at its record and to note that our position is respondents, and that's who we are in this court, and therefore not to shut us out, but give us our time to highlight, just like the other parties. I also respectfully wish to draw the attention of the court. A party in similar position, not as amici, Felicita Wakesho, was an interested party in the High Court. In the Court of Appeal, just like us who are amici in the High Court, she was cited as a respondent, and therefore, like us, participated as a respondent. Now in this court, she too, like us, is a respondent. In contrast to the way the court has treated us, Felicita Wakesho has been given 45 minutes to highlight. Parties before the court ought to be treated equally, and all respondents should be treated equally. We therefore, considering this court is the court of last resort, I respectfully urge that the court ought not to lock out even the interested parties, but I speak on behalf of the 74th, 75th, 76th respondents, that we too require our time to highlight certain issues before this court. We urge the court not to lock us out, not to reduce us to spectators before this court, because then we wouldn't need to be here. We would have just given our submissions and not come to court. We are here as respondents, and we respectfully ask the court not to lock us out, not to change our status. Nobody has complained that we are respondents. Nobody has challenged that. And the court has not asked us to comment on it before changing our status to that of our mission. So I request the court to reconsider and allocate us time. And that goes also for, if I may, with Dudley's permission, I know that is the same position of the 77 respondents, but I do not speak for them, but it would not be right for me not to mention it.
I just add a word for the 77 respondents. My name is Ochiel Dudley. I appear with Mr. Waikwa, Wanyoike, Ms. Nkonge, Mr. Rayo Danga, and Ms. Mwavishi Shitagwa. Mr. Ian Mabenga will join us virtually as soon as the registrar gives us the link. My lady, I believe it's not the court's duty to redraft the pleadings. The pleadings before this court show that Dr. Jack Bbi is the 77th respondent. The Attorney General recognizes him as such in his supplementary pleadings filed just the other day. All the parties address him as such. And before the court made the adverse order, which now denies Dr. Jack Bbi audience, it didn't hear him. If it would have heard him, Dr. Jack Bbi would have informed the court that having been listed as a respondent at the Court of Appeal, whose rules do not recognize a missing, he filed grounds of affirmation, which he has also filed before this court. and we don't know what the fate of those grounds of affirmation is going to be. And the danger is this, my lady, parties can collaborate, they can allocate issues to each other. The issue that Dr. Jack Mimali addresses, the question of presidential immunity, is not going to be addressed before you. No other party canvasses it in the depth to which Dr. Mimali does. So the court's order is going to lead to the loss of a fair hearing. And my lady, this is the kind of matter where time should not be the court's primary concern. Your partners, your counterparts, the Supreme Court of India, had Kesavananda for 68 days because your decision will live for eternity and will determine the fate of the Constitution. The only other issue, my lady, is that no one would be affected in any way if the court treats Dr. Jack Mimali as a respondent and gives him, say, 10 or 15 minutes. But on the other hand, he will go away feeling that he was unfairly plucked from the seat of justice. So with utmost respect, my lady, we request you to review your decision to that limited extent. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. My lady, my name is Ongoya. I appear together with Mr. Ogada for the 11th and 12th respondents. And our plea is based on very simple logic. We have read the directions of this court very respectfully, delivered on the 14th of January 2022, and we have discerned that this court identified 3 or 4 categories of parties in those directions. First were the parties called appellants, who are given 45 minutes of oral highlighting of submissions. Then there were the parties that the court described as main respondents. Then there were parties described as supporting appellants and supporting main respondents. It would appear that the 11th and 12th respondents were therefore categorized by the court as supporting main respondents. We submit respectfully that therein lies the error, and just give me 1 minute to show what the error is. The 11th and 12th respondents were the only parties in the High Court and the only parties in the Court of Appeal who canvassed the question of delimitation of boundaries as found in the bill that has been challenged successfully in the High Court and the Court of Appeal. So that issue has been captured among the issues framed for determination by this court as a main issue, the issue of delimitation of boundaries. There is no other respondent dealing with that question in their oral submissions, in their written submissions as filed before this court. So for the court to categorize the 11th and 12th respondents as supporting main respondents, there is nothing to support. They have to canvass that question themselves, distinctly and separately from the other issues. They have canvassed that issues themselves from the High Court, through the Court of Appeal, and now before this court. Now, the court identified main respondents as the main petitioners in the High Court. Even using that criteria by this court, the 11th and 12th respondents fall in that definition of main petitioners in the High Court because they were the only petitioners, the only ones who raised the question of delimitation of boundaries. So we submit respect to my lady and my lords that applying the criteria of this honorable court, at the very least, the 11th and 12th respondents would be entitled, just by operation of that criteria, to the 45 minutes allocated to the other parties. We submit, we did not ask for this time for fun or for just equaling scores. We submit that we have critical points we wish to highlight before this court. And my lords, the age-old adage is that from the very beginning, justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. For a party who walks the same path as other petitioners in the High Court, raising substantive issues that have walked all the way to this court, to be told now he has become a supporting cast in the script, there will be need for strong reasons to support how that relegation happened. We humbly beseech you, my lords, my ladies, in spite of the time constraints that you suffer and which we understand, to consider granting the 11th and 12th respondents the same time as the other parties that you categorize as main respondents. We beseech you.
Thank you.
My learned senior counsel, John Haminwa, they asked me humbly to introduce him to make his observations and comments.
May it please the Honorable Court. It's my humble submission that the submission made by my learned friend Mr. Chair has considerable merit. This is one of the cases where we should not have any time limit at all. If it is necessary for us to sit in this court for 2 months, let us do so. If it is necessary to sit for 6 months, the way I sat in the case of Pesemo Cheno, let us do so. What is the hurry for? Where are we going? We have a unique case of national dimension. We have a unique case of international dimension. The entire international legal profession is focused on what is going on in Kenya about this case. And for us to say that the case so-and-so will take 15 minutes, so-and-so will take 45 minutes, may I say with tremendous respect, we are being very mundane. We should be able to see this case in a much broader perspective. And the broader perspective is that your lordships or your lordships and your lordships should sit and hear the matter for as long as it is necessary. Give us time. The Honorable Attorney General, I rarely agree with him, but this time I agree with him. Why should you give the Attorney General of the land 45 minutes? He deserves much more. He should be able to say what he wants to say. With those few remarks, I urge you that you retire and reconsider your position. We should not treat this case as a debt collection case, the way we normally do, of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. For once, let us sit and do some work, all of us, the bench and the legal profession. Thank you.
If it may please the court, in this matter, appear with the Solicitor General, Mr. Kennedy Ogeto, who is here, Mr. Kamau Karori, Mr. Paul Nyamodi, Maurice Ogoso, Radhika Arora, Faith Chalo, and Sharon Cherotich. If it may please your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, we have greatest respect for the order you have made. But we humbly request that if taking the court's diary into account, there is any possibility of adding a little more time so that each party and the public out there are satisfied that we have had an opportunity to properly highlight what is before you. It could only be in the interest of justice. We are not disputing your order. We are merely requesting. We know that it is within your discretion. But the discretion can be exercised in a manner that enhances the democratic process and the judicial authority of this court. As a final court on this very important issue, which will determine the future of this country absolutely. This decision will determine whether this constitution can ever be amended or it is so rigid that it can never be amended. And that will determine the future of the future Kenyans. I humbly request that we look at this thing once more. But if the court is not determined to accommodate the parties, then I would request that you concede to a donation of time which the AG has got from the Speaker of National Assembly and the Speaker of Senate, who have indicated that in view of the gravity of this matter, they would rather donate their 15 minutes each to the AG to enable the AG articulate his case fully. But I humbly request that if possible, we accommodate everybody so that we have a determination made on the spirit of a representation which has provided an opportunity to every party. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those submissions. You give us... Oh, there's someone else.
May I, my lady, Chief Justice, and the honorable members of the court, my name is Githu Muigai. I appear for IEBC with my learned friend, Mr. Eric Gumbo, Mr. Justus Munyidhia, Mr. Moses Kipkogei, and Ms. Wamboi Muigai, and Mr. Delbert Ochola. We have only one submission, which is to associate with my learned friend, Mr. George Oraro, in the plea for a little bit more time in which the parties who are entitled to address you may address you. In our case, we consider that 45 minutes may not be sufficient to argue a matter that has very broad implications, which is the quorum and the function of IEBC. If we have looked at the record in the High Court and the record in the Court of Appeal, and it's quite clear that very major errors of law and fact were made precisely because time was not sufficiently allocated. That is our plea, my lady.
Your Lordship, my name is Wambulwa. Your Lordship, my name is Wambulwa. I appear for the Senate and the Speaker of the Senate, who are the 14th and the 16th respondents. Your Lordship, as you have been told by my learned senior, this Senate and the Speaker of the Senate, together with my colleague, Mr. Kuyon, representing the National Assembly, and the Speaker of the National Assembly, were the main respondents, together with the Attorney General at the High Court. Therefore, we find that the 15 minutes allocated to the parties might not be sufficient, as the respondents are addressing most of the issues raised. However, if the court, as requested, maybe is constrained of time and might not be able to accede to the request, as was said on behalf of the Attorney General, we believe that the Speaker of the Senate, who is the 14th respondent, is allocated 15 minutes, and the Senate, who is the 16th respondent, is allocated 15 minutes. In that regard, we will be obliged to donate 10 minutes to the Attorney General, if the court may allow, so that we remain cumulatively with 20 minutes to highlight our issues. Thank you.
My lady, in the matter, my name is Kuyoni, and I represent the National Assembly and the Speaker of the National Assembly. The Speaker of the National Assembly is the 13th respondent, and the National Assembly is the 15th respondent. My lady, I also join my colleagues and echo the sentiments that they have raised, that the Speaker of the Assembly and the National Assembly were main respondents in both the High Court and the Court of Appeal. And we will also be requesting the court, my lady, that if, as it considers the time request made by my learned seniors, it also considers adding us a few more minutes. My lord, I represent two parties, the Speaker of the National Assembly and the National Assembly, and we were allocated 15 minutes, I think, for each party. And if that is the case, my lady, and the court is unable to see to the request for more time, we will be donating 10 minutes of our time, and my lady will be remaining with 20 minutes to highlight on our issues. Thank you.
It may please the court, my name is James Orengo. I appear for the 18th respondent and the 21st respondent, together with my learned friends, Mr. Paul Mwangi, Professor Ben Sihanya, my learned friend, Mr. Jackson Awele, Mr. Arnold Ochieng Oginga, Ms. Winfred Makaba. From our point of view, we fully support the remarks made on behalf of the two appellants, namely the Attorney General and the IEBC. It is our view that this matter should be fully ventilated. The matter, although being heard and considered by the court, but there's a great deal of public interest in this matter. The Kenyan people would want to know the arguments and the positions of the various parties as ventilated before the court. They don't have the privilege of having the written submissions. And my lady and the court, this is probably one of the most important cases that would ever come before the Supreme Court on the Constitution. Secondly, my lady, we appear for the two respondents. We filed joint submissions. In the submissions, you'd find that in respect of each respondent, the matters we are dealing with in respect of both respondents, some of them are common and others are not common. But I'd urge you that if you had to give the Attorney General and the IBC a little bit more time, then on our part, an additional 5 minutes. Since we are appearing for two respondents, would be appreciated. Since if you look at our written submissions, we are almost dealing with all the issues that are being raised by the appellants. So we would pray that you give us 5 additional minutes, and that will only be possible if the Honorable Attorney General and the IEBC are given a little bit more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Justice and Counsel. This is for Senior Counsel Martha Karua and Mr. Ochieng Dudley. From the record, your clients were admitted as amici curiae on the 21st of January 2021, so that you entered the proceedings at the first instance as amici curiae. At the Court of Appeal, you are partly named as respondents. In one appeal, you are named as amici curiae. The question that I'm asking myself is, when does amici mutate, stop being a friend of the court, and the court is the court, and then become a party, either as an appellant or as a respondent? So that the question we're asking ourselves is, if you entered the proceedings, the dispute at the High Court as amici curiae, why are you suddenly calling yourselves respondents? Is it enough that the appellants called you respondents? Do parties create positions for themselves by suing each other outside the framework of the dispute before the court? And therefore, why is it in error for us to have said that you are amici right from the beginning until this court? That is where the issue would arise. And I think the error is admitted by the court, that in the directions we should have indicated that you were joined as amici, not at the Court of Appeal, as the directions would be saying, but at the High Court on the 21st of January 2021. So my question is, how do you mutate from a friend of the court to an adversary of one of the parties, as you're saying? That is all we're asking.
if I may, in the Court of Appeal, we were cited as respondents and accused of being partisan. We responded, therefore, as respondents and tackled the issues as respondents. The same before this court, and nobody challenged that. I remember in the Court of Appeal, it was put to us in the allocation of time, but we did tell the court, having been dragged to court as respondents, we deserve time to highlight and defend our position. In these proceedings, it's exactly the same. And before this court, we made an application for consolidation, which cannot be made by an amici. The court treated us as respondents. Can the court then turn us into amici? Because before this court, we now come to defend our position just like we defended it in the Court of Appeal. But our position also is that regarding every party before the court, including interested parties, this being the highest court, nobody should be shut out. Everybody should be given a hearing. But we are respondents, that's the way we are named, and respondents also, once heard by the court, we are not opposing any party. It is because our submissions appeared to agree with the submissions of one of the respondents that the AG and the others cited us as respondents in the Court of Appeal. The AG avoided us in this court, but we see his last submissions are mainly responding to our submissions. We deserve a hearing. And we are asking the question again, how does an interested party, who then morphed into a respondent like us, get 45 minutes? And we don't mind her getting 45 minutes, but in contrast, we are shut out. Where is the equality before the law?
If I may also briefly respond to the question. We are victims of a situation which we have not created. The Court of Appeal Rules 2010 do not recognize amicus. I've appeared before you twice recently in the County Development Board's case, where a former amicus at the High Court was heard here as respondent. I also appeared before you in the Eric Gitari case, where a former amicus at the High Court ended up here as respondent and was given audience. That is the situation with all amici admitted at the High Court currently. And the other thing is this court's rule on amicus is that an amicus who is slanted to one side will have their submissions disregarded. So Jack Mimali right now risks being excluded from the oral arguments, and when you come to his written submissions, you'll find them supporting one side of the case. He also risks being excluded at that level. That danger can only be mitigated by allowing him about 10 to 15 minutes to highlight what his case is about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will consider those submissions on the allocation of time, and we'll be back after 20 minutes to proceed.
Niaje? Ni kama unashangaa kwa nini naangalia simu with so much focus, eh?